ask a lot of them, the first thing they'll answer when you say, why do you fight? They'll tell you because they love to fight. Great, because if you don't love to fight, you're in the wrong job, okay? Because no money in the world can pay you enough to take that kind of punishment on a daily basis. You have to love it. So that's the first question. The second response that they give you is, money. A lot of them need money, especially if they're a fighter, they're in the game, they didn't have, that's their job, they've got to earn money. And then I say to them, so how are you generating money? And they're like, well, my fight fees and I've got a job on the side. I'm like, wow. So put it this way, I fought on Ultimate Challenge one time, and my fight purse was £1,000, £1,000. That night, I made £24,000, and it was all mostly from sponsorships. Wow. So you shouldn't ever be relying on sponsorships to make money in this sport, because it's not going to happen. Fight purses, because you're never going to make money on fight purses. Now, no matter what level you're at, whether you're an amateur level fighter getting paid £200 for the evening, or if you're a UFC guy on 50, 60 plus £1,000, you should still be generating more in sponsorships. And even with the UFC guys that can't display sponsors on their clothing, it can happen outside of the cage. There's so much they can be doing to generate income. And you should never be relying on your fight purses, because you're just never going to make the money doing that.
No, because I was talking to Mark Godbeard, and he broke down what he got on his fight when he had the loss.
Yeah.
He only made a couple of grand. So that was fighting in the UFC, which is the biggest promotion, you know what I mean? And after this fight and everything, you food, and you're paying everybody, he made a couple of grand. So, if that's all you're doing fighting in the UFC, then you need sponsorship, don't you? That's...
Absolutely, bro. And, Mark is a good example. I love Mark. He's a very, very good friend of mine. I was in his corner at UFC London. And you know what? He said the same to me. He said, this is the thing, people think UFC and, but they don't realise there's the taxes, there's the agents' fees, there's so much other stuff he's got to pay out. And he literally said to himself, and he's quite smart, Mark, and I love him for this, but he said, you know what? I can do better if I'm not in the UFC. And he took the conscious decision to say, you know what, I'm not going to fight in the UFC anymore. And he left, and wow, did that guy take off. Now look at him. Now he's a Valor bare knuckle champion, the British British bare knuckle champion. Opportunities in front of him now. So yeah, you got to get smart. And yeah, fight purses, they're just not enough, really, as far as I'm concerned.
No, unless you're the top level guys, it's only going to pay for your stuff. It's like one person that comes to mind with me, and who really needs this sort of stuff is like that Leon Edwards, isn't it, fights in the UFC. He's like a great fighter, but I like him, but he's not someone that, he's fighting this weekend, I need to watch him. That prosciutto spirit and things works really. Yeah. It's nice, but it doesn't pay the bills, does it?
Absolutely, Brian. And he's a prime example. And what I've done about this, because I understand this, and I had a lot of fighters in my camps over the years. Some of the most talented guys I've ever seen, that were definitely UFC potential in terms of their ability, but they'll never ever make it because they just don't want to focus on their own brand. They don't want to do it. They just do not want to do it. So I've created that entire course, for fighters that want to do it. But if they got a manager, then manager can do the course and then can implement all these strategies for them. Oh, you know what, bro? Even their brother or their sister or their friend can literally take that role on and literally create a career out of generating sponsorships for fighters. Because when you follow my process, it's almost a fail-safe method. Unless you've got some real disposition with your personality, you can't fail because everything's done for you. I could go on forever about it, but I'll give you a little story. I had a guy in my gym years ago, and he was probably one of the most talented fighters we'd ever seen. He smashed through the amateur levels. We put him into an opportunity on a bigger show. The promoter gave him some tickets. I said to him, right, get on and do what you got to do. We rocked up to the event. He weighed in on spot on. It was raring to go. He looked in great shape, and he handed every single ticket back to the promoter. And the promoter went, what the hell is this? He looked at me, and I just went, oh God, I know what's coming now. And he said, what? My job's to fight. I'm here to sell tickets. And I just looked at the promoter and went, I'm so sorry. And I looked at him and went, you're done, mate. You're never going to get a fight on this show if you don't. You've got to embrace it, whether you like it or not. It's part of the business. It's show business. Yeah, this is show business. Just because you're a fighter doesn't mean to say you shouldn't have an element of business savvy. Rubbish. The show is the fight, but the business is what you do to make sure you're making money from that fight. So that's kind of where I'm going with it.
There's only certain people that can do it naturally, isn't there? You know, there's like
Absolutely.
You know, Conor McGregor. I was chatting to Paddy Pimblett over in Liverpool, and he's got a natural thing. I don't think I'd have it if I was a fighter and I was a professional fighter. I think I'd have to work at myself to do it. I haven't got that natural gregarious, people want to like me and people get drawn into you. There's only very few people who can do that. And you've got people like Chael Sonnen, who had the rapper, writing lines for him. Someone was telling me about that, like, you know what I mean? So he worked at it because he looked at WWE and then he went on that model, didn't he? You know what I mean? And that made loads of money. And he'd done the same thing, get on TV, get an interview. I remember him talking about how many minutes he got time on a certain interview, and then no other fighter had got that much time, you know what I mean? Thinking like that is totally different. And I think he makes a lot of money now, Chael.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you know what? You're smart, bro. You're spotting these things, and these are the things that I've been really working my whole program on. Now, look at it this way, right? You've got the guy in the gym who rocks up within inside of a year. He's probably one of the most technical fighters you've seen. You think, lucky bastard. How has he done that? Okay. And then there's guys like me that rock up to the gym and I have to bust my ass day in, day out for hours every day to get anywhere near the level of competence or technical ability that guy's got. Okay. But that didn't stop me working to get to that level. Okay. I still managed to win fights. I still managed to get as technical as I could because I worked my butt off. Okay. So the other side of it, I was lucky from my background and the way that I am. I was pretty good at self-promoting myself. But you've got that guy in the gym that is technically gifted. So he's going to have to work his butt off outside of the gym. Okay, there's two ways to look at a fight career. You know, you've got your fighting and then you've got your business aspect. If you're strong in the fighting, you're going to have to work on your weakness, which is the business. And for me, I was strong in the business, but my weakness was getting the technical ability of the other guys. So I had to work hard on that. Nothing in life comes easy, man. If it's worth having, it's worth working for. So I don't want to hear the fighters going, oh, yeah, but it's hard work. Well, then don't come and use my course because, honestly, nothing in life worth having is not going to be hard work. And if you meet anybody that tells you different, please send them my way because I'd love to know where I went wrong for the last 30 years. So if you're going to come to me and say, oh, but I've got to put some effort in, damn right you've got to put some effort in. Whether it's in the gym or whether it's in your business, you've got to put some effort in or don't expect to get anything back.
I speak to more fighters now, and when I'm in the gym, I speak to them, and a lot of time it's as if sponsorship is something that should be just given to you, if you know what I mean, and not that. Because I said to someone, I can't remember who it was now, and it was like, it's like I'm not going to give you money for nothing. I want something back. You know what I mean? Unless I'm your friend and I'm trying to help your career or something. But let's say I'm Adidas. I'm not going to give you money unless you're giving me something back. And that's got to be selling my kit or whatever it is, you know what I mean? And I don't know if everybody thinks like that. And I think that it was Jason who said that to us, that switch in your head of understanding.
Bro, honestly, I can't tell you how refreshing it is to speak to you today, honestly. Now, you've just nailed another area that I've had to really work on is over the years, I see fighters posting on Facebook, sponsorship opportunities. I need new shoes. I need new kit. I got to travel. Hit me up for information. It's like, wow, you might as well you are wasting your time. Just like you just said, never one time did I approach a sponsor and say to them, I need. Damn, no one's going to give you anything if you're telling them about what you need. I went to sponsors and said, you know what? This is what I'm going to do for you. And this is when I'm going to do it. And this is how much exposure you're going to get. And this is what you're going to get. And at the end of it, I'm going to record it. And I'm going to show you what I did for you because I want you to sponsor me again. They don't care what I need. Okay. This is a business deal. Okay. Sponsorship is a business. There's no such thing as free money. And the minute you say that to a sponsor, boom, not only will he not sponsor you then, that guy will never, ever acknowledge you again. And it's the biggest mistake they make. They think that people care about them. Now, it's a harsh world. Business is hard. Okay. Businesses that want to sponsor you, they don't care about you. Unfortunately, it's the harsh truth. Unless it's a local business, that the owner needs a friend of yours, he might give you a bit of money. But we're talking about real sponsorships here where you can make a living out of it. You've got to offer value. If you don't offer value, then no one's going to give you anything. So, yeah, and how many times have I heard fighters say, oh, sponsorship, free money. And if you're going to come to me with that attitude, again, please don't waste anyone's time because you are not going to get sponsored with that attitude. So there's a lot of things that fighters need to change, or they need to change the way they think about things. There's no such thing as free money. And this is not easy. This is going to be some work involved, but you get what you put in. Get out what you put in. You reap what you sow, as they say.
Yeah, the only one I've ever seen I've ever seen do it was Joel. Was fighting at a Team Quest a while ago. He's got Lyme's disease at the moment, and he's in a bad way.
Oh.
They're doing a GoFundMe for him. But I remember him saying, he was listing, he's like, I've got this sponsorship on the shorts and this and that. And then he'd list, if you do this sponsorship package, I'll give you this, this, and this, and I'll do this, this, and this for you, and I'll do this. And it's like, whoa. And I remember seeing that was probably about 3-4 years ago, maybe longer, I don't know. And it's the only time I've ever seen anybody do anything like that. You know?
Yeah. Dude, if you could see, I mean, if I could do a screen share of you right now and show you my sponsorship package that I used to get sponsorships over 10 years ago, and it'll blow you away. And that's why it's so easy for fighters to get sponsored. They don't realize how easy it is. There are many, many, many people out there that want to get behind fighters at the moment, but because these fighters have no idea how to approach people or how to present their proposal, they're getting shut down straight away. But you should really see the proposal that I have done for myself, and I recreate a whole template for anyone that follows the program. And they literally, as they go through, most of the information I've filled in, like the demographics of MMA or whatever their sport is, because it's not just for MMA, it's for kickboxing, boxing. But so a lot of it's filled in, but some of the personal stuff they just cut and paste, and boom, they got a ready-made proposal to send out. But the course is really detailed. I go through everything from branding, how to approach, how to follow up, networking, the media, social media. There's a lot involved.
Yeah, because there's a few where you place yourself as well. And there's a couple of people that John Jones is one. He tries to place himself in this. I'm this really nice guy, but when he became the bad guy, everyone fucking loved him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, let's play together, and everyone's like, "Fuck off, dickhead." You know. But then he's like, "Oh yeah, I beat you when I was sniffing cocaine." What do you think?
There you go.
And everyone loved him then. You know?
Dude, I loved him then as well. I've got to be honest, mate. And do you know why? It's because he's real. You know, people loved it resonates with people, you know, when people are real. And listen, at John Jones's level, don't think for 1 second he doesn't have a PR team backstage managing all of his fuck ups, because he makes a few. But they twist it, and it's about twisting it into your favor, you know. And he literally did that. He's had a lot of backing and a lot of advice. That isn't the way it seems on the front. Is people look at it and think, you know, he's just saying what comes off the top of his head. Dude, that is not the case. That guy made mistakes. His PR team spun it, threw it back out, and made him even more popular. Because what people don't understand is that, yeah, okay, there's an element of being a fighter or an athlete or a role model, if you want to use that word, where you have to be beyond reproach effectively. You need to be almost perfect. But sometimes people like to see the human side of you, you know, but it's a balance. You've got to get the balance right. There's some things best kept hidden. And I always encourage my guys to have a Facebook page and then a personal profile, and block their personal profile, make it unpublished or private, because you can do what you want on there. But when you're in the public eye, you've got to be more considerate about how you come across. And again, I get a lot of fighters say, "Oh, I'm real, I don't care what people think of me." Well, then you're in the wrong business, okay? Because you should care what people think of you, because those people will make or break you now and in your future. And believe me when I say this, I've seen it happen. One single troll on Twitter can almost ruin your life.